Hey, what's up? I'm Phil.
I'm Aaron.
This is Mike.
And we are 3/5 of All That Remains, and you're watching Artisan News.
Well, there's no more big time, no more bright lights. Just a guy who's drinking alone tonight. Should've worn back your mouth, not you off your high horse. With all that worthless advice you endorse. Lost the limelight you were about. What's it like to gradually fade out? Used to tear it all down, now you're tearing all up. Got 'em dripping in your whiskey, it's the brass mug. I've heard it all before. The murmurs and the whispers, I don't listen anymore.
Josh's schedule was kind of tight, because at the time our producer's schedule was probably one of the tightest, the most difficult things to deal with doing the record. At the time, he just found out that his wife was pregnant, and they hadn't told any family, and so he had all the husband stuff that he had to do, and he had to go ahead and somehow manage to do some pre-production with Lamb of God, and with, I think he was doing Vamps, which is a band from Japan, at the same time that we were pretty much doing our record. So there was a little bouncing around and trying to make things fit doing the record. And that was probably the most challenging thing, at least for us. Everything else was fun.
Yeah, there was no challenge with him. It was easy once he was there.
Yeah. Probably for you.
Yeah, probably the ballad, the acoustic ballad for you. That changed a lot through the whole, from like start to finish process.
Oh, it started off. It was going to be kind of, what you said, kind of like a jar of flies kind of idea.
Yeah, kind of like a Goo Goo Dolls song. It was all acoustic.
Yeah.
And then kind of added some distortion and stuff like that to make it slightly heavier. But initially, it was very, very Goo Goo Dolls.
Well, we wanted to do it. Like we've always. That's part of who we are is trying to do new stuff as much as we can. At least something new and different on each record. So but then you've got the powers that be are looking for a certain product, and you're like, so.
We got away with What If I Was Nothing too, so it wasn't that hard. Once we got away with that, we were just like, we can push it. We can push it further if we want.
Mm-hmm.
This time, yeah, because I thought on the last one we didn't. So I thought this time was kind of cool. And I like how it starts and ends with piano and stuff like that. And it was a little more thought out this time, but nowadays you kind of got to front load albums because the attention spans are. You better get those top tracks in the first 3 before people switch on to something else on Spotify or whatever they're listening to. Yeah. So, just front load it as much as possible for the most part, but still try to have like a good flow overall.
I mean, you definitely have to give people a reason to keep listening. People that they don't listen to, I mean, most music buyers nowadays aren't really album driven, they're song driven. Most people that listen to music, which are not most music buyers nowadays, they're looking for the next song they like. They don't have like an allegiance to bands the way that it used to be, or they don't have allegiance to styles of music anymore the way that it used to be. A lot of elitism's kind of going away. I mean, the elitists are still out there, and they've got a more useful tool to be elitist in the internet than ever before. But you'll see a lot more variety in the songs that people have on their phones, and that's really the way they look at it. As it's song by song. It's not so much an album or whatever. So you got to really convince them to listen to the next song on the record, as opposed to just being like, oh, there's the song that I know, that I heard, that I want, that I'm going to put my phone and then not listen to the rest of the disc. I think we've talked about different methods of releasing stuff, I guess, and I think that honestly, I think your standard 10 or 12 song record, maybe there's 10 more years that people will be doing that, and then I think that the actual record release like that will be going away. But that's who knows for sure, but it just seems like there's a lot more people putting songs out over a larger space of time, and then they'll throw them, put them together and it'll be a collection. But like Bring Me the Horizon released like 3 songs in between, their last 2 records, just putting it out there. And I think that you're going to see more bands doing that, recording songs, putting them out, and then as that happens, then the actual collection record will be something that is less and less important. So it's the way that not the music industry is evolving. The music industry is going to have to respond to the way that people want to listen to music. The music industry no longer is directing it. The listener's directing it, and they're saying this is how you need to service us. So it's something that you have to think about, and it's something that you have to be cognizant of, as whether it be on the label side or working with the label, or whether it be on the band side or the creative side. It might make sense nowadays to spend a little more time, not spend as much time on the road in a row, and do like a tour, and then go and maybe record a song and put it out, and then go do another tour. And you can do that in the span of 3 months. You can do 2 tours in a song, but so I don't know the way it's going to pan out, but I think that it's something that the musicians and artists are going to have to respond to. Yeah, almost, and that's something that the listeners really, or the music listening population really wants.
I wouldn't. It's a little frustrating working on 12 songs when pretty much no one's going to hear 9 of them.
That's true,
at
too.
least.
Yeah.
So I think it should change, because it's getting to the point now where it's like you want to put a lot of care and work into all of them, but people aren't going to pay attention to most of them.
Yeah, there's like 3 songs. There's 3 songs on our last record that I was like really excited about and would really wanted people to hear, and it's like, once the singles were kind of like settled upon, I was like, now this song's going to be like a deep track on a record that in an age when people don't listen to records, and I'm like, I love that song, and it's just not it's not we'll play it live, but it's not going to have it's not going to get spread around, so sometimes that happens.
Right. And it's a shame too, because you don't want to be a one-hit wonder band. And you look at Tears for Fears record, they put like over $1 million into the Shout song, and like, probably nobody else knows the rest of the catalog.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so you got to keep the incentive coming.
The Reason by Hoobastank.
Yeah. They'll be able to play shows forever because of The Reason. Hey, what's up? I'm Phil.
I'm Aaron.
This is Mike.
And you're watching Artisan News. We'll be right back.
Phil.
I like to poke fun at people and kind of be sarcastic, and so I'd never really done that a lot in lyrics. It always been, like, all the stuff that we had written up until this point had always been like, tend to be like emotional things or like kind of political things, and I never really kind of like poked fun at people, and so I decided that we were going to poke fun at some people, and it was a lot of fun. I've seen some feedback. It's awesome. Ruined a dude's day. I guess I don't. Maybe I'm just stupid and I don't think very much. I mean, that's probably the easiest thing to say. Just be like, whatever. Maybe it's just genuinely that I really don't care. It's like there's so many people and there's so many opinions, and when I was when the internet first started, people started getting on message boards and stuff. Like, I was on there, so I was one of the first people to learn that everybody hates you, and don't think that they don't, because they'll let you know. So I mean, I guess I got thick skin, and I don't care if people are going to criticize me much. I've made friends that way. There's a couple dudes that I'm friends with that I met like on the internet, just talking crap about each other. They were just like, you suck, this sucks, and you're a faggot. And I'm like, well, you're da, 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 and then like after 6 months of them sitting there poking fun at me, we just start talking. That's how I met Brian. That's exactly how I met Brian. And now every time we play Jersey, a dude comes out, he's a buddy of mine. doesn't change a lot.
No. I think everyone keeps saying it's going to change security and all that forever, and I don't think that's going to happen either, because I said the same thing after the dime bag thing happened, and every club we play, there's some zombie working the back door at a club, not paying attention to anything. So I don't see how they're going to. Everyone says, the security is going to change it forever, and no, it's not.
Well, especially in the States too, like, I think it's a different element when you are abroad. Obviously, you're out of your element. You're not in your own country. At least here, if something did happen, you would have at least some sort of small clue of what do I do now? Who do I call? Where can I run to? Right, it makes sense. But if you're in, Pakistan and something goes down,
if you're in Pakistan, you are not playing a show.
Yeah. There's not much you can do about it, and there is a sense of, less personal security and whatnot. But you got to live your life. You got to just keep moving and making moves, and not, base the fact on something might happen.
Right.
Meteor could come down right now and smash us.
Still a better chance of falling in the shower and breaking your neck than getting shot while we're on stage.
Yeah.
After that happened, if a company wants to do that, then, more power to them. After that happened, I put something up on the internet that caused a bit of a stir, and a lot of people were talking crap about it. But it's like, there's nothing wrong with having a gun in your car. There's nothing wrong with having a gun in your desk. Nowadays, get a gun, get a first aid kit, because if you have a gun, you better have a first aid kit, and, learn how to use both of them. If you got you got a couple $100 that's laying around, what better way to protect yourself from something like that? And it's not a lot of training that you need, but get training, make sure you're legal, and have a first aid kit and have some kind of means of defense. And it's really unpopular to say for people that, especially in the music industry. I mean, we're here in New York City, and guess where my gun's not? Here, and so it's not a popular thing in this kind of culture, but it's still, you're responsible for yourself. So be responsible, and if you're responsible for yourself, you should be responsible with a gun.
It's better to have it not need it than to need it and not have it. Because by the time something happens and you need to let somebody know it's already done.
You can still carry, you can still have a gun here in New York. It's expensive and it's a lot of hassle, but I know a couple lawyers in New York that, they're walking around with guns, all the time, and they're responsible, and, so it's just that people take insurance out for things that are extremely unlikely, and I just think that in today's age, the idea that you're a bad person for wanting to own a gun, which is something that you kind of, a vibe you hear a lot from, a lot of media, I think that can be a problem. Well, the title, kind of was, it's kind of like getting to the point where you have to understand that you can't control everything, and if you can really only control your reaction to things. Most of the things that happen in your life, you're not in control of. So if you look at your life from that perspective and work on the things that you can, have an effect on, and do your best to allow the things that you can't have an effect on kind of just go, and not try and beat yourself up trying to control things that you can't control, you end up in a much more calm space, I think. So I think that comes with age. Most of us now are, no, I'm with the two young guys. I'm 40 and the other two guys are over 40, and these guys are in their 30s still. But I think that does come with age, especially if you're a person that when they were younger, like I was pretty high strung when I was younger. So, kind of just letting go and letting things be the way they are, and understanding that, it ain't your job to go out there and fix everything. You'll have a much more peaceful life. I'd probably tell myself to save money. I mean, don't be an idiot. I know what you waste your money on. Don't do it.
It's just you talking to yourself going, you're going to be dumb for a while still.
Yeah, you've got a lot of stupid in you. Go have fun, but try and put some money away.
You're not going to get smart for a long time.
That's an extremely accurate statement.
That's what I would tell my 20-year-old son.
not
Like,
gonna
you got at
get
least
some-
15 stupid years left before you even remotely come close to making a smart decision.
That's a cool thing about being in being in a band and stuff like that. It really does extend kind of childhood. In your 20s, everyone expects you to do dumb shit and make mistakes and stuff like that. We were just like, we can make it to like 38, 39, and just
We don't
drag
live in
it
this
along.
real world.
You know,
Our drummer is dragging it.
43 gonna be
He's
making.
43. He plays video games for 10 hours a day and then gets drunk twice and then goes to bed right after he eats a pile of chicken tenders.
Crushes some sort of children's food. Oh, what's on the children's menu today? Oh, macaroni and cheese or pizza.
We really should get him like dinosaur chicken nuggets.
Just Flintstone vitamins and just, he is like the oldest child I've ever met. It's
It's true.
funny to watch him go
It's
through
so
a day.
Too many frozen corn dogs left.
I hope he sees this. He doesn't know how to work the internet. He won't.
Yeah, the old. You can tell he's the oldest guy like that. He's like, oh, and he's also likes to have like the special. Everyone has iPhones, and he's the guy. He's the guy that gets an Android. So you're sending him green text messages, and you're just like,
He's the jerk that turns all the text green in our group messages.
You send pictures of, I didn't get that. What
Yeah.
was it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
hey, what's up? I'm Phil,
I'm Aaron.
And this is Mike.
and we are here at the diner, and you are watching Artisan News. Now, where's my coffee? We're basically walking around like this. Yeah, I mean, music is changing so fast, and the way that people receive music, the way that you get into people's faces is changing so fast. It's really, really hard to figure out and know what the next step is, or the proper way to maximize your reach or whatever. So it does feel like stumbling in the dark a little bit. It's definitely not the way that it was 15 years ago, when it's like, put out a record, there's X amount of promotion, these are the places where it goes, these are the places people go to get their music. It was that automatic, or that everyone automatically went to the same places to get music. Now when you say, well, I just go to the internet, you're like, really? That's pretty specific, you know what I mean? So it's not so easy to figure out how to get your stuff out there. The best way to do it is when you connect with people on a level where they want to tell their friends and they want to spread the word. So that's why you see, like, I think that's why you see some artists that are just mega huge still, and then there's it's like the middle artists are kind of drifting away. You're either mega huge or you're really kind of flying under the radar. So. We put out a record a few years back that people really want us to do again.
Yeah, over and over
and
again.
Yes.
And then they don't realize the time that we thought we did. We tried once.
They don't realize that they would complain about that too.
There's a couple things in our career, I think, that were important.
Guar was the first one.
Guar tour, the first tour we did with Guar, we did a lot of shows with Guar that year, but that was important. I think before that, when we worked with that, the fact that we worked with Adam on Darkton was important. The Fall of Ideals was important.
Ozfest.
Ozfest was important. And listening to our management and our agent and our label and stuff like that for Ozfest was really important too, because remember how we said we were going to do a whole lot of dumb things? We would tell our younger selves, there was a dumb thing that we were going to do, and everyone's like, no, and we were like adamant about really wanting to do it, and they were like, you don't want to do that, and we were like, fine, and then next year we found out that they were right. 2 weeks was really important, I think.
Yeah.
When that came out, that was
It's
a
like
big
a
deal.
string of events.
Yeah, so I
Not really
can't.
any one.
We've got 15, at least 15 years of history, and we were never a one-hit wonder band. We were never a band that a song came out or we were on the breaking edge of a trend or anything like that. For our entire, history, it was go out there and do the work and, just do your best to write good songs. So it's been you can't say that there's one thing that happened that made us a, big band. It's the fact that we've got, 15 years of a career, you know, that you know has kind of gotten us through. The bus or Jason's constantly breaking?
Yeah, Jason finds a new way to have us cancel shows all the time, but we tipped our bus into our driver couldn't get into Canada, so we just took the bus, and then
Left him at the border.
Yeah, we left him at the border. We took the bus. We drove it into Canada. It started snowing. We tipped it into a ditch. Had to get pulled out. Everything broke. Everyone almost died. It was just a long day. The show was sold out in Toronto, and we had to get there, so I drove.
A bus.
I drove a big, scary bus into downtown Toronto at 6 p.m. It was terrifying.
That had been on its side, almost completely on its side, maybe 2 hours earlier.
Yeah, we all went flying out of our bunks. Our guitar tech tried to drive first, and he just tipped it into a ditch. And
our tour manager got hit in the head with a safe.
yeah, my knee got all like busted open. All the stuff came flying out of the fridge. Booze bottles smashed all over the place. It was one of those days that you were just like, I want to go home.
It was a day.
Today I want to go home.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
We got there, yeah.
Like, what's with the theatrics, with the bandages and the...
Yeah. We got lucky that day. That could have been a lot
what are they
worse.
going for here?
Yeah, that was probably the worst. There's been some weird stuff, but that one wins.
Yeah.
When Japan needs bonus tracks, they might see the light of day.
Yeah, we'll write extra songs when Japan needs bonus tracks.
Yeah, or Best Buy. Sometimes Best Buy wants an extra track too.
Yeah, we don't usually write extra songs, you know.
I don't know. We don't ever have time. We think we're gonna, and then we just find a way to not.
Mostly because this part's in 17 and not 4/4.
Yeah. Sometimes Jason, our drummer, tries to explain things to us for weeks at a time, and it really, really eats up the schedule. Oh wow! Yeah, everybody in the band has like way different ones, but I grew up with all like the Bon Jovi and Skid Row stuff and Guns N' Roses, so I saw all the hair bands with all the girls and the money. I thought that was cool. Then got a rude awakening when we jumped into our Ford. I was like, so this is how it's gonna be, and then we drove like 30 hours to Iowa to play for 15 people, and I was like, oh boy, this is gonna be different. So yeah, we had a friend at home that used to always say, yeah, Motley Crue lied to us. They just lied to us. That's all you saw on TV was them just like with girls lined up out of their dressing room and their jets and their cars, and none of that happens. 15 years later, none of that's happening still.
I grew up with the same thing early on, Skid Row, Ozzy, and Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, Halloween, that kind of stuff, and then it's progressed, I got into punk rock a bit, and yeah, from there, I mean, quite a wide variety. I had parents that got me into music as well as my 10-year-old brother, who was same thing. He lived in the 80s, so he was just like, here it is. Here's what you need to, understand music and Guns N' Roses and stuff like that. And yeah, I mean, but I like Adele, and I like real singing and songwriting, and Portishead and stuff like that. Some really cool stuff.
Gent.
And what?
And Gent.
And Gent. Yeah, a little bit of everything, really. I mean, in each style of music, there is something wonderful. I love Hank Williams, and so if you can depict all the good stuff out of each genre, there's something listenable, and you can respect what the artist did and whatnot. So,
Hey, what's up? I'm Phil.
I'm Aaron.
This is Mike.
And you're watching Artisan News. We'll be right back. I like garbage pop. I mean, the stuff that I was listening to when I was a young kid was like, 80s stuff, some of the hair metal bands, Def Leppard. Then I got into Iron Maiden, Metallica, Judas Priest, early teens, and then death metal, Carcass, Entombed, Grave, Cannibal Corpse. And then after, when you kind of can't find anything heavier, I yeah, right. I mean, when Cannibal Corpse puts out Tomb of the Mutilated, and then the bleeding comes out, and then you're like, I don't know if it's as heavy as their last one. Like, where do you go from there? What do you do? You know, if you're like, well, I don't think they're as heavy because Chris Barnes' vocals is not as deep as the last one. You kind of, and then I guess I kind of was like, well, I guess I'll try and find other kinds of music to listen to. You know, like I felt like I finished that game. You know, and so now it's like, you know, just garbage pop, and I like Aaron was saying, I like songwriters. You know, I don't have a lot of bands that I'm really partial to nowadays. I tend to just put songs in my iPod and stuff that I like, you know.
Nothing gets played on the bus.
Nothing gets played on the bus.
Really?
Yeah.
It's just TV all the time or video games.
No music.
Sometimes late at night on the weekend, the VH1 Metal Mania goes on and he gets pissed.
I don't get pissed. I won't. It's not like I throw
He just
things.
gets up. He just gets
I'll
up
leave.
and leaves.
I will leave. I will leave.
He's just like, oh God, I'm going to bed.
It's like, that's like watching like the same show like 30 years later. And the show's 3 or 4 minutes long, so it's not like it's compelling. You know, it's the song. You want to listen.
Ollie's sitting there making Beavis and Butthead jokes the whole time too, so that kind of...
Yeah, Ollie's sitting there talking to the TV or just like muttering about something, and you're just kind of like, what?
It's literally like Beavis and Butthead watching the videos.
Yeah. So it's like, I'm going to go to my bunk.
One man show.
Yeah. Let me change the channel. There's porn in my bunk.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I like Garth Brooks a lot. I like a lot of country singers. I like Alan Jackson.
Don Henley.
Don Henley.
Do you like Don Henley's voice? I think he's. I'm not saying that he's not a great singer. I just the tone quality of his voice I'm not super into.
Phil Collins and Don
Yes.
Henley to me are just like...
Phil Collins is awesome.
David Gilmour. Sebastian Bach.
Sebastian Bach.
Yeah.
Axl Rose too. I don't think people realize how good of a singer he is because he's just a, you know, everyone's, oh, he's a dick. He's an amazing singer.
I think Elton John killed it too, especially his earlier stuff when he didn't. Now he's in that weird low register thing, but you listen to Candle in the Wind and some of that other stuff, and he's just Call to the Blues. Just his delivery is just so good. It's effortless. You know, you listen like it's one of those things. You're like, I can do that. Nope.
No, you can't.
You can't.
Everyone in the Eagles.
Yeah.
Literally everybody. That band sounded like a computer with their harmonies. No yet.
Yeah, we talked about possibly starting to write some stuff in January. It'd be the first time working with Aaron, and that's kind of the point of doing it, I guess, to get some time together in the rehearsal studio. We'll probably learn some old songs. We'll bounce a couple ideas off each other. We'll not actually accomplish anything, and then we'll hopefully go back on tour in March.
If there's tours in March and April, we'll do them.
Yeah.
If not, we'll just write an album.